All right, so there's been a ton of news this week. Oh my God. I'm going to start with the thing that's most important to my channel. Congratulations, Marilyn Manson, on having another lawsuit against you dismissed. So, just yesterday, got word that the judge in the Ashley Morgan Smithline civil suit against Marilyn Manson, he dismissed her lawsuit. Now, the reason he did this is because she had fired her sleazy prior attorney, Jay Elwanger, who, by the way, is still Esme Bianco's attorney. I wonder how that makes Esme Bianco feel to know that she's with this guy that it was so lousy that even Ashley Morgan Smithline no longer wanted his services. But whatever, okay. I guess Gloria Allred was busy, huh? Oh, wait a minute. No, Gloria Allred was not interested in this case and wouldn't take it even after Evan Rachel Wood went to her with all of her supposed evidence. So anyway, yeah, I guess you take what you can get, right? But yeah, Ashley Morgan Smithline got rid of Jay Elwanger, and she declined to get another attorney. Now, someone asked me, well, why couldn't she get another attorney? You know, you're telling me that she couldn't find some other attorney to represent her before the court deadline? No, of course she could. It's very clear that what happened here is Ashley Morgan Smithline wised up to the fact that she has been scammed by Evan Rachel Wood and some of these others, and that she needed to get off this hoax train. She needed to get off the, Pretty Little Liars train to treachery and deceit and lies, and move on. And so that's what's going on here. And I don't know what she's saying to different people behind the scenes or whatever, but I'm just saying that that's very clearly what has happened. All right. And so I give her props, Ashley Morgan Smithline, for having more intelligence than I thought that she had, right? I know I've insulted her on this channel and I've insulted her intelligence and everything, right? Well, apparently she had more sense than these other women because she's getting off the train. And so, props to her for that. She has more sense than Evan Rachel Wood, Esme Bianco, and the others. And maybe Ashley Morgan Smithline figured out what I've been saying for a while now on my channel, which is that in this kind of a scam or this kind of a hoax, such as Evan Rachel Wood and these others are trying to perpetrate against Marilyn Manson, the benefits are front loaded. So yeah, I get it. You got the two-part HBO documentary, Phoenix Rising. You got the Rolling Stone articles. You got the People magazine cover. You got the ABC interview. You got the View interview. I get it. But all that stuff is now in the rearview mirror and it is fading fast. And what is coming up is slightly less pleasant. Let's see, we got a defamation trial. Well, not just defamation, right? Like Marilyn Manson is going after the primary instigators here, Evan Rachel Wood and her co-conspirator, hoaxer, ex-girlfriend, Ilma Gore. He is going after them for as much as he can in terms of, it's not just defamation, right? There's all these other charges that he's going after them in a civil court for. And so even if the anti-slap thing, sorry, even if the anti-slap thing is successful because, it is difficult to get defamation lawsuits past the anti-slap rules, in California, even if the defamation part is struck, he's still got the other stuff, right? What was it? Reckless, I can't even remember now, computer fraud, reckless endangerment, infliction of emotional distress, etc., etc. I don't even remember. But take a look at his lawsuit. It's on Twitter. It's on Marilyn Manson's Twitter and his Instagram. Check it out. Okay, all the information is there. So he's going after them for that. And the other accusers are going to get dragged into this too. And then we've got a civil case with Esme Bianco coming up. She has no evidence. Yes, I'm going to continue to say it. I have seen a lot of her evidence, thousands of files that were leaked in a court filing. And she doesn't have anything. All right, there's nothing. So she's going to go through this civil suit and it's going to come up with a big fat zero, and it's going to be exposed, as it's slowly being exposed along the way, that this is a scam and these ladies don't have anything. And then we're going to have this big trial, civil trial, just like with the Johnny Depp thing. We're going to have it for Marilyn Manson against Evan Rachel Wood and Ilma Gore. And even if it's not televised, there's going to be stuff that's coming out that's going to make them look bad. I mean, so many people already have reported on the faked FBI letter at Evan Rachel Wood and her girlfriend or conspirator at the time, Ilma Gore. They faked an FBI letter. So there's all kinds of stuff that's going to come out. And so it's not going to be a good year for these conspirators and hoaxers. And Ashley Morgan Smithline, I think, realized that she had been scammed. She realized that she's taken a wrong turn in life. And I give her credit, at least, for correcting that and getting off this train. So, yeah, congratulations to Marilyn Manson for that. And I do have some upcoming interviews on my channel that I think are going to be helpful to him, helpful to his reputation, and that are going to expose some of the lies that these accusers have been telling. So, working on those are coming up, but there are good things ahead this year for Marilyn Manson. I feel really optimistic about it. And if I were one of the accusers right now, like Evan Rachel Wood or Esme Bianco or some of these others, I would not be feeling good. What else is in the news? Okay, so the Idaho thing was solved. My God. Sorry, someone keeps sending me messages. The Idaho thing was solved. It turns out that it was a creepy PhD student who was in criminology working on his dissertation. He would not be the first person, the first grad student to be driven crazy working on a dissertation. You know, I did a dissertation on the guillotine and on British romantic literature and then modern horror films. I covered a lot of different things, right? In my dissertation, looking at like thematic links between them, and I kind of went crazy, but my craziness did not manifest itself in a quadruple homicide. But you know, different people, different strokes. No, I don't know. It's probably too soon for jokes, but seriously, I'm kind of shocked that they found him. I thought the case had gone cold. I don't know why, and it turns out, that the Idaho police and the FBI, these people, they knew what the fuck they were doing. And I'm sure, while they were patiently waiting and while people were criticizing them and castigating them online for being these like slow sort of Keystone Cop types, and oh, they ruined the scene of the crime, and they fumbled the ball and the case is cold and all that, and they're just kind of sitting there, sort of patiently biding their time, I'm sure thinking, just you wait. So it looks like they got their guy, and so I'm glad that justice hopefully is going to be done there. Now I do have a couple of issues though with how they got him, and maybe I'll talk about this on my crime channel. Some of you know I started a new true crime channel. I haven't put out anything lately. I do have some videos about the Idaho thing. I need to do an update there. But I do have some issues, some kind of like philosophical issues with the way that they got the DNA. He did not submit a sample of his DNA, and they didn't get a warrant, to obtain a sample like they would get a blood sample or something from someone, right? They got him because some DNA that they found at the scene matched up with one of these ancestry databases, and he had not put his DNA into this database. It was like a distant relative. Like if you have like even like distant cousins or whatever that use one of these DNA ancestry databases that work with law enforcement, not all of them do, but those that do, if you use one of those, then apparently that information can be used to identify one of your relatives if they commit a crime. And then they had someone actually track this guy and to confirm, right? And waited for him, I guess, to maybe throw a cup away or something, right? Like maybe followed him into a cafe or whatever. They got that sample of DNA surreptitiously, and they used that to confirm. Now, you might say, why do you have a problem with this, Kurtz? I mean, these were horrible, terrible crimes. Now, because of this guy is off the streets and he's going to face justice and he won't do this to other people. I understand. But there are principles that are higher than individual cases, right? And if we just looked at each individual case on its merits, then we'd get into a lot of trouble, right? That's why we have like overarching rules and laws and principles governing these things, right? So that it can ensure that we follow procedures that are fair and that protect people's rights. And so I'm just not sure, and I'm going to have to think about it. I'm just not sure if I'm comfortable with the idea that they did not actually have to obtain a warrant to get this guy to give him a specimen, right? I mean, I understand he left some stuff at the crime scene, but to track someone using like something that they've not even DNA that they've not even submitted to a database that the relative submitted, and then also this idea of getting his DNA without his consent, like following him around and getting it off. I don't know how I feel about that, right? And so I'm gonna have to think about that. I don't know how I think about that, right? But I do want to say the guy was stupid about how he handled that Elantra, the car thing, right? I mean, if it were me committing a crime like that, I would have been a lot more careful about how I dealt with the car. And so that's one thing. And then also the fact that he did leave DNA on the sheath of the knife, that, I mean, you fucked up. And it is apparently difficult to commit like the perfect crime. And so I'm pleased with the results. You know, I do have, like I said, a couple of quibbles with sort of the philosophically with the way that they got some of the evidence, but he does seem like the guy, and I'm pleased, you know, for the families that they're going to get a sense of justice, although I know that nothing can make things okay in this case, right? And I'm glad that the guy's, you know, off the streets and he's not going to do this to someone else. So it's going to be interesting to see how it goes down. And I know Andrea Burkhart's going to be covering this a lot. I'm really fascinated to see her coverage. I'm going to be looking at it too, some on my true crime channel. So check that out as well. I think I'm going to link it below. But I'm looking forward to seeing what she has to say. What else? What else? What else? Okay, Harry and Meghan. So Prince Harry, you know, I just have to say, like, these two are trying so hard to stay out of the public eye because they were so mistreated by the media for so long, right? And just hounded nearly to death, like Harry's mother, right? That they have been trying desperately to escape the media in every way possible. And I just don't know what more, you know, they can be expected to do to get people to leave them alone. I don't understand why all of you will not leave them alone. I don't understand why the media will not leave Harry and Meghan alone because they are trying so hard to stay out of the public eye. You know, if that two-part documentary on Netflix or the memoir, the four-part memoir that Harry is putting out, starting with the first part, this week, or the memoir that Meghan is doing, or Meghan's podcast, if these things are not enough to send a clear message that these two individuals do not want media attention, then I don't know what is. I don't know, like, what do you people need? Like, do you need like a sign, a flashing sign? Okay? All right? They don't want media attention. They want to be left alone. They want to disappear. Okay? And if the podcast and the documentary and the multi-part, you know, book series that each of them are doing and all that, if that's not clear enough for you idiots, then I don't know what is. So, I think I'm going to come out with a separate video, though. There's so much going on with the Meghan and Harry stuff, and with the Manson stuff, and with the Idaho stuff, that I think I'm going to do a separate video on each and try to get those out soon. I've got so much material I'm trying to catch up on. I've got videos I need to do for my Patreon patrons. I've got part 2 and 3 of the interview I did with the BDSM expert about the Manson case. I've got something with Frank Valkyria Valkyria. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing his name, but we did something together and the sound got completely off sync, so I'm trying to fix that. But that's coming out. Like, I've got multiple things that need to come out. So there's, you know, I took a break over Christmas, over the New Year, but I'm back engaged and in gear, and I've got good things coming up. So stay tuned and subscribe. And as always, and now more than ever, I appreciate your support, and the links are below. All right. Happy New Year, everyone. I feel good about this year. Good things are ahead. There are good omens. All right. Bye-bye.